I'm Mike Celente. I'm the head Gryphon of Dravo, and I'm going to be wearing Google Glass on rounds. So basically, Gryphons are on duty, and it depends what building or area you're in, determines the frequency of your duty rounds, I guess. But regardless of where you are, when you're on duty, you do a round at 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and 12 o'clock. And then if it's the weekend, which is Friday or Saturday night, you add a 2 o'clock round in there. So in Dravo, there are a total of 16 halls that the Gryphon will walk through 4 times a night to make sure that everything's going well in the building. There's no parties, there's no people passed out in the halls, there's no facilities issues. So that's kind of how we just make sure everything's all right. We do a lot, I will say, and everyone kind of approaches it differently. Some people like to be more of a friend to their residents. Other people like to be more of an enforcer. I try to find a balance, kind of to be that big brother, but at the same time, have them understand that I'm also there to enforce policy and make sure that, not that they have no fun, but to make sure that they have a safe and meaningful college experience. So one of the things that a lot of people think is you go to school, you go to college just for academics. And you come here for 4 years, take a certain amount of credits, and you leave with a piece of paper that says you have a bachelor's degree. But in my personal experience, college offers so much more than just academics. And I think we would be doing a disservice to our residents if we didn't try to help them develop and grow as much as possible. Whether that be meeting new people, learning to live with a roommate, sharing a common bathroom, dealing with conflict in general. So I try to help my residents learn as much as possible and help them grow so that when they're sophomores next year, they're ready to spread their wings and do their own thing and they don't need me anymore. And you kind of see that throughout the year. You know, they come in and they have so many questions about everything. And by the end of the year, they're just doing their own thing, telling you where they're living next year, and basically all growing up. I feel like a father now saying this, but I don't know. You get attached to your residents every year, and you just want what's best for them. A typical night on duty varies depending on where you are. So there are definitely certain locations that are notoriously more rowdy than others. We have a duty phone for every single residence hall, and so at least most of the calls that I get from a duty phone, if I get any at all, have to do with people locking themselves out. Deal with anything from a party to a broken washing machine to a broken window. My weirdest night on duty was one of the first times I was on duty as a Gryphon, my sophomore year. I walked into a hall and all of the residents in the hall basically had their shirts off and they were surrounding 2 guys in the middle who were wrestling, like actually fighting in the hall. And I remember just being like, hey, what the hell is going on? And they were like, well, we can't have a fight club in our hall. And I was like, no, you can't do that. And I was like, I'm gonna finish my rounds. I'll be back in 10 minutes. If you're not all back in your rooms and this is still going on, so help me, I will write every single one of you up. And my good friend was actually the Gryphon on that hall. And one of his residents came up to him later that night and was like, this one Gryphon, broke up our fight club, and then he said he was gonna be back in 10 minutes and came back in 10 minutes and checked on us. And my friend was like, yeah, that's what he's supposed to do. You're not allowed to have a fight club in the hall. So that was definitely something that was entertaining. I guess part of the reason was because they thought that they could just fight in the hall. But it ended up working out fine. I never had problems with them again. They thought of me from then on as a really strict Gryphon.